All right, so if you are new to the class and you just came in, I'll just make that brief announcement again about props because we all are at home. I am going to be using a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, that is totally fine. You can get blankets that stack on top of each other and make a little cushion like this. It's a little bit thicker. If you have just one single blanket, that is totally fine. You will be able to go along with the class. And at some point, that bolster is going to be propped onto these blocks like so, Jenga. So if you don't have blocks, you can forgo that one. But if you do, sometimes people have blocks. Sometimes people will do a stack of books to put hands on. It's okay either way. If you don't have any props, don't freak out. It's totally fine. Not that you'd freak out, but. And this is what a typical blanket looks like, right? So we're gonna have that as well. And my name is Nicole. I know most of you, some of you I don't actually know, I think so. Or maybe I've seen you once or twice, and some of you are locals from Ashland. So thank you for supporting the Ashland Yoga Studio Center, Ashland Yoga Center. Natalie has been really kind to just really set us up really quickly online. And all the teachers are going forward with all of their regular class times, which is this one, 4:30. So in the future, this class will be offered to the community members. You can go online to their website at ashlandyogacenter.com, buy a pass and Mind Body. And I invited other friends of mine from around different places just to say hi and offer this as an offering today, a love donation. If you want to donate, I gave you information. If you don't, that is totally fine. I totally understand. So getting that out of the way, we will start our class. This is a yin yoga class. So some of you may have been in a yin yoga class before. If you haven't, yin is more slowed down than, let's say, vinyasa. It actually is meant to be held, the poses are meant to be held anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. And it's really for relaxation. And at this time in our lives, we could all use our relaxation and just letting our nervous systems come down to the parasympathetic nervous system, away from sympathetic, crazy, right, chaos that we've been in. So I welcome you to this class. I've been teaching for about 14 years now, so I have a lot of experience. I will guide you with my voice, with any instructions. You don't have to look at the video unless I'm like, hey, look up here. Just try to listen and you will be completely guided in your own body. And I'll try to offer just general asana points because obviously I can't see you all. All right. If there are any injuries, please take care of yourself. Feel free to turn off your video if you'd like and just really listen and enjoy. All right, that's my announcement. I'm going to move away from my own screen as well. And get grounded. So this class I designed today is really for the heart chakra. And the heart chakra is so important at this time. The week prior, when we did this Zoom call, I did this all about fear and root chakra, trying to overcome the instability and getting really grounded and really centered and really anchored. That's all still applicable. It's applicable every single day. Let me turn off my email so it doesn't beep at us. But today I wanted to really talk and reflect about the heart because as we know, as we've come into this place of fear, what we've also come to realize is that we are connecting and we're all connected. We are interconnected and woven together like an amazing, incredible tapestry. So in that, what I also recognized was this virus that we're all contending with attacks the lungs. And it's of primary importance to keep our lungs really healthy, but also in energetics, in yogic energetics, the chakra system, the lungs and the heart are connected. The heart chakra is the lungs. And so it's an opportunity to actually release grief and sadness as a collective. We've been moving through the chakra system, chakra 1, 2, and 3, first, second, and third chakras. We're said to be evolving into the heart chakra now. And so releasing all the fear, right? You can see how fear is releasing. We had the Me Too movement last year, releasing a lot of sexual shame. And then we have a lot of greed and power that's imbalanced. And so that's the third chakra. And now we're coming together to release sadness and grief. Like, how did we get so separated? The heart chakra energetically is about unity. It's about magnetism. It's about affinity and relationships, which is the binding force that we have together, which is the heart. So I really, really wanted to just express that today's class will be to support your heart, to support your own inner sanctum of sacred divine union with yourself. It's so, so important to practice peace, love, unity, forgiveness, compassion. So let's just close our eyes and begin to settle into our seat. Just easy seat. Hands resting on the lap. Maybe index fingers and thumbs will touch. And in that, we come to Jnana Mudra. Jnana Mudra is our wisdom mudra. And we close our eyes and we begin to softly breathe. Just softly breathe. And allow your breath to go in and out to the heart. In and out through the heart. And as you're breathing in and out through the heart, allowing yourself to soften. Just allowing yourself to soften. Let's place one hand on our lap and one hand on our heart. And begin to breathe. Just allow your breath to guide you into your lungs. Imagine anahata. Imagine a color that is emerald green in the center of your chest. And as you breathe in, slowing down and filling the heart with that emerald green color. And as you exhale, allowing that green to just filter down like a waterfall all the way into the root of your being. And if you could empty your roots, allowing toxins to filter through and empty into the earth. So we're connecting deeply to Gaia, Mama Gaia. And just feel that love energy, that breath, this inspiration, right? Inspiring, bringing spirit in through the breath. And as you exhale, getting even more deeply connected to the earth. And this is just a simple way of guiding ourselves into our spiritual nature. The heart being the unifying field of energy, of love. And it's also a place where we connect spirit to matter. So heaven to earth. And you and your breath are that channel. So continuing to breathe into the heart and down into the earth. Into the heart. And down into the earth. And softening in every round of breath. And as you feel more connected to your body, more relaxed, let's tune in to an intention. How would you like your energy to be directed today? And where our intention goes, our energy flows. Let's take our hands into Anjali Mudra, prayer mudra, right at our heart. And we'll seal any and all intentions together with an Om. So let's take a first inhale for an exhale. Inhaling for Om. Very good. Namaste. Taking a little bow to your heart. So, beloveds, our first pose today will be Reclined Butterfly. So I'll just show you Reclined Butterfly. It's a chest opener. Some people call it supine chest opener, but essentially I'm making a little L shape with my block, and I'm taking my bolster and I'm putting it like this. A lot of people do this pose without, I'll share without the props if you need to take a look. So I would lie down. I can start with my knees bent. I will scoop my tailbone under so I'm not hyperextending in my lower spine. And I will either take my knees out with my feet together, or I will extend my legs forward if my back is tender. Arms will come out to the side, palms will be open. The alternative setup for this would be simply to roll up a blanket and to place it across the mat with no props at all. And you can take as many blankets as you'd like and stack them. And then I'd like your shoulder blades to go onto that blanket, so the upper middle thoracic right around the bra line. And you can open your chest this way as well. Okay, so that's another alternative. The other one's a little bit more like sunbathing in Bali, which I kind of like. And so I'll let you decide which one suits you. So either the L-shaped setup or the rolled blanket. And when we do a pose in yin, the goal, if there is a goal, is to relax. That's the only goal. Okay. So taking a deep breath here, getting into the pose. And like I said, we'll be in each pose for approximately maybe 3 to 5 minutes. And I'm going to time everything. I'm also going to play a little bit of music in the background that's really subtle. So I think you'll be able to hear that just fine. I've tested it. So as you're in this pose, please feel free to settle in to your spine and into your back and into your legs. And as you're here, noticing any subtle adjustments that you'd like to make internally so that your body starts to relax itself. And your breath is very free flowing. So while we're in this supine or reclined butterfly pose, notice all the little spots in your body that are holding tension. You might habitually constrict your jaw. You might notice if there's tension in your shoulders or your trapezius muscle. And as you breathe, starting to breathe really deeply into the heart, into the lungs, opening that space of anahata. Anahata translates to unstruck in Sanskrit. And that always struck me. It's like, unstruck, what does that mean? The sound that two things make without striking. Unity, binding, union. Yoga means to yoke. So feeling the yoking in your heart of all the different aspects of your being. Connecting our body, our physical body, our energetic body, our emotional body, all unified in this field of awareness and consciousness that is love, passion, and kindness. So just a few more breaths here, really soaking your body in prana, in life force, in that field of breath. And if any sounds want to come through, I'm a big fan, as my classmates know, of using the breath as a tool and using sound as a tool to release energy. And especially now when we've got so much bound up energy in our bodies, you just, and you can make even weird sounds because you're at home, so no one can hear you. Even better. Just go for it. Ha! Right? Just letting it go. Good. And then to get out of this pose, and I'll ding a bell when we come out of a pose. I realized inside my little bowl, my son has left me a present. It's very cute. Actually a little hamsa, ironically. Protection, so smart. And then we'll roll off, so you can bend your knees and roll off to the side and just remove your props completely for now. So I'll be doing this with you and getting you into each pose. So the next thing I'd like you to do is come up into easy seat. If that means sitting on a bolster or a blanket, that is fine. If it means just sitting upright, that is fine too. What I'd like to do is Kapalabhati, breath of fire, because Kapalabhati will open up the heart and the lungs. And if we're talking about the heart, we're going to be talking about some meridians later. We want to open up this area. Kapalabhati, breath of fire, the arms are extended. This is not typically a yin pose, but this is pranayama, which is heart oriented. We're only going to do this for 1 minute. The arms are up, extended about 45 degrees. All the fingers come down to the palm, the thumbs extend out. And the idea is, if you were to do Kapalabhati, your sharp exhale, you're snapping your belly back as if you're fogging a mirror. So if it were fogging a mirror, but you will close your mouth. So it's all through the mouth. I'll have you take a deep inhale and an exhale. And then we'll start Kapalabhati for 1 minute. Take an inhale and start. 10 seconds. Good, take a deep breath in, connect your thumbs, extend all your fingers out, pull up the root lock, the sex organs, and the belly, hold the breath. And exhale, release your breath, relax your shoulders, inhale deeply, open the mouth, exhale, emptying the dross, the toxins, the poisons, etc., and just really letting the circulation flow. So now we're going to get onto hands and knees. Now we'll start in tabletop, so hands will be under shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Draw the belly in so your back is generally straight. If you need to protect your knees, you can always bring a blanket onto your mat and create that little cushion for your knees. And that feels really good too. We want to feel soft and relaxed. So pressing down through your hands and your feet, you're going to arch your back as you inhale, draw the belly in. Open the collarbones, neck is long, extend the gaze. Exhale, bring your chin in towards your chest, round your back, opening up the spine. Inhale, fluid breath, draw the navel in, lift your chest, open the collarbone. Exhale, you're rounding, shoulder blades protract, belly goes in, tailbone lengthen. Let's continue with a few rounds of cat-cow. Turn down the music a little bit so you can hear me. So cat-cows on your mat, opening your spine. This helps to open the upper thoracic spine and sets you up to open up the heart. While you're here, really feel the articulation of your spine. Try to get into all the crevices, all the constriction or congestion. Keep checking in with the breath every round, moving with our inhale and our exhale. Good, and then after this, we will come back to sit on our heels for a moment, stretching our arms forward, coming into child's pose. You might bring a block underneath your forehead in child's pose, and just allows the body to rest. All right, so if you want to put the forehead underneath or on top of a block rather, it allows the nervous system to settle. It's not a requirement. You could just be in child's pose for a few breaths. Have your knees be wide, your hips are wide. You might imagine here coming back down to the ground, connecting with the earth. And just feeling your connection to Mama Gaia, feeling your connection to grounding. Start to fill up the lungs, the front lungs, the back lungs, the sides of your ribs. And your arms and your hands are an extension as well of the heart. So as you're feeling into the body, spreading the fingers, spreading the arms. Good, so we're not holding that one very long because we're going to come into the pose that we are going to hold. So that was a transition. The next pose, you'll come up onto hands and knees, is called Anahata Asana. There's many ways that people do this posture, and I'm going to show a way that might be a little bit different. If you have blocks, You can put your blocks down on the mat, and what you will do is put your elbows on the blocks. So it'll look like this. You're from hands and knees, you bend your elbows, and you place the elbows on the block. I want to get my hips in alignment with my knees, and then I'm going to come down and place my head in between the blocks. So notice I had to move back a little bit. And this is stretching the whole upper back, and it allows me to actually drop my head. I'll bend my elbows and place my hands in a prayer behind my heart. So elbows on blocks, hands behind the heart. If you don't have blocks, you can do it without that. It's totally fine. Hands and knees, drop to your forearms, elbows under shoulders, bend the elbows, hands behind the heart. And just align your knees under your hips. And I notice for me, when I'm in Anahata, I get a really beautiful stretch under my armpit, the armpit chest. And we have heart meridians, and we're going to be working with one that's under. It's called the Scapular Release heart point. And we are going to be working with that as well. So we're working with the heart meridian. Once you're in the pose, close your eyes and settle into the pose. Start to breathe deeply into that upper thoracic area, expanding the lungs and the rib cage. And as you're breathing here, it's like your heart could melt down to the earth, allowing the air, the quality of the heart to settle. Feel like you can breathe into the back of your heart where your prayer hands are. And perhaps even offering a prayer to your heart. The back of the heart is the receiving channel of the heart. And if there's anything that we're all collectively learning, as we know right now especially, is to come inward to our own heart. To ask the deeper questions of how can I heal, how can I release resentments, how can I release attachments, how can I surrender more fully. Taking a deep breath into surrender. This is a pretty big heart opener, so notice also your belly. Draw the belly, lift it up into the back body, into your lower back so it's supported. What else can you relax as you move into Anahata, as you move into love? The polarities that we've been feeling of fear and love have been so distinct. It's quite incredible. And coming off the heels of the equinox, it's like completely magical and divine in so many ways to really see that contrast of fear and love and how we step and lean into our love, or if we're organized and oriented around doubt, worry, fear, stress, etc. And I know myself, I've been playing with that balance, and it is balance. Anahata is the balance chakra, air and balance. So if we give ourselves spaciousness, we can come back into the center point of all of that. So when the pendulum swings to the left and then swings all the way to the right, it comes back into this middle place of kindness and tenderness and a resonance of harmony. Okay, so that's a pretty long hold. So to come out of Anahata, you will simply press up off of your hands, come back into cat-cow. Back into cat-cow, just to release the spine. I like to use this as a transitional pose in the heart. Just do that a few times so that you can release any tension that might be in your back or your spine from that pose. Good, and then come back to a center point where the back is generally flat. The next pose that we're going to take is that subscapular release. It's like this heart meridian, and we're going to start on the left side. So I'll show it here. Oh, I didn't ring my bell. Ding! We're done. All right. Sometimes I forget the bells. So you'll take a block, and again, if you don't have a block, maybe it's like a stack of books. But this one you will need something. So we're going to take our mat and roll it off or over, I should say, the top of that block like this. Okay? And what it does is create a little shelf. Then you will come down on your hip, and right here, armpit chest area, you will lay on the block. Now, you're looking for a trigger point. It's a heart meridian. You'll feel it because it's pretty intense on most people. And your elbow will come and you'll just kind of hang out. This is kind of like, I don't know, it's like I'm modeling, doing my fitness routines. So you're stacking your hips, you're stacking your legs, and feel around until you get a point. You're like, ooh, that's tender. That's what you want. You want the tender spot that makes you kind of cringe in like a little bit of like, ooh, I don't know what that feels like. That's a good place to be. Okay, so we're releasing our heart meridian line. Start to breathe here. I'm going to time this because this one can be a little bit tricky. And you might want to close your eyes and really breathe into that spot. So much like acupuncture, things like Reiki, we all work with these different meridians, traditional Chinese medicine, to open up the heart and to open up the lungs. And of course, we can do this in yoga too. So we're so grateful that we have these really incredible practices and modalities that help us. And even, I know for me, sometimes it even makes me nauseous, which is kind of an interesting detox effect or purging effect. That might be what you feel as well sometimes. So just breathe here. I wanted to offer a quote that I heard on Sunday when I was listening to Agape. I love Agape. I live stream it. And Michael Beckwith is definitely, I consider him a spiritual teacher of mine. And he said, community is spiritual immunity. Community is spiritual immunity. And I thought that was so great. I wrote it down because it's such a great quote. So being here in our community, our Sangha, really does give us this sense of immunity and spiritual immunity. Like we can deeply, deeply connect to our spiritual nature. Then we can see the divine love in this entire plan and how what we've created is actually happening. And from the higher perspective, being together, coming back to the earth, practicing ways of the earth, connecting at a deeper heart level, right? Breaking down systems and all sorts of chaos and paradigms that didn't work for us, or the earth, or animals, right? And how collectively this is going to really shift the whole world. And this is how we can help each other out. Okay, mine is super intense, so I'm not because of me, but I'm gonna do this for all of you. We're gonna come off the side. You're just literally gonna take your opposite hand that's not on the floor and press yourself up. Ah, yeah. Doesn't that feel so good? And then you'll flip to the other side. I'm not gonna flip to the other side, even though that'll make me really uneven, because I won't be able to see you all. Although I guess I could do it. I could do it this way. We'll just do it on the other side. So you can flip your mat. You could even take a blanket and put the blanket over it as well. That works. Find that sticky spot that feels a little nauseating and hang out there. I don't know, I don't feel it on both sides necessarily as intense. You may or may not. Doesn't mean you're doing it in any wrong way. There is no wrong in yoga. Oh, now I found it. Just needed a little slowing down. Take some deep breaths here into that. Oh, that scapular release. With the eyes, settle your gaze. And deeply breathe into the sides of the ribs, the lungs, and the heart. And if you could heal your inner body through slowing down, through meditating, through breathing, and if everybody could do that, could you imagine the impact that it would have on the entire planet? If we all connected in deep healing. If we all went in. To presence ourselves, to be in the light of our own awareness. Holding that candle of inspiration. Holding deep awareness of love and communion. What a blessing it is to be on the planet in this time of evolution of consciousness. We have all picked this time. We knew it would be exciting. And we knew we could be strong. And that we could help others and way show the light. Path of yoga. This yogic path is so important. Good. So we're going to come out of this side as well, pressing yourself up slowly. The next pose that we'll come into is called Sphinx pose. Sphinx pose, you'll lie down on your bellies. Lie down on your belly. Feel free to start just lying down, just like hug the earth. Extend your arms. I like to call this superhero pose, just extending my arms all the way out. And it's like I'm hugging the earth. Lately, I've been apologizing a lot to the earth and just telling her that we are so sorry because we've really been the virus on the planet up until this point. And how do we find a solution to expand our consciousness and really help our mother to heal as she's healing, we're healing. We'll come up onto our forearms, place the elbows underneath your shoulders. Extend your legs out, and I like to roll my hips side to side just to get to that point where it feels like I can really release my lower back, widening my sacrum, bringing the tailbone towards your heels, chest is lifted. Shoulder blades are moving in towards the heart to widen your chest. Your collarbones are broad. And you're pressing down through the floor in order to lift up. And now close the eyes, chin to chest. So Sphinx, traditionally the chest or the gaze is maybe forward. You can do that if you'd like. I like this option too of chin to chest. You're still keeping the chest lifted and using that root down rebound of energy concept. So you're relaxing your head, bowing to the heart. And please just offering yourself so much gratitude. So much gratitude at this time of the great turning of the wheel, as some will suggest. It's a great time of transition. It takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of strength, it takes a lot of centeredness to be that pillar of light amongst all of the chaos. Deepak Chopra says that the chaos is what births the star. And so the chaos within us, a reflection of the chaos outside of us, nature reflecting us completely. And that's a yogic principle. Nature is our true reflection. And this dualistic nature, that is true, and that's how we learn. That's the contrast that we seek to know ourselves on the yogic path. And so learning about ourselves through nature, as nature, with nature, and in the tantric view, it's all one. And really, everything's kind of coming to that agreement. I believe even the sutras, it's all oneness in the end. And we seek as yogis the path of spiritual enlightenment. The gift of light within us is to release the dualism, is to release the separation. Just taking a few more deep breaths. If you'd like to release any sounds out through the mouth, that's totally fine. And then we're going to release this pose just by coming down again and extending your arms back into what I'm calling superhero pose. Imagine your cape flying. Forehead on the mat, and just shake out your butt. Just rock it side to side. You could even bend your knees and rock your shins side to side. Call it windshield wiper legs. To release your back and any tension there. And just take a few breaths to transition to the next pose. Bring my bell back. I'll have you bend your elbows, bring your elbows by the sides of your chest, fingers still pointing forward like low cobra, pressing down through the floor. And then you might come up to low cobra shoulder blades down, feeling the heart opening, and then bring yourself up to hands and knees and come into child's pose. This child's pose, if you'd like to use a bolster in between your legs, you can do that, and you can hug the bolster. If you don't have a bolster or a blanket, that's fine. Just take regular child's pose and just place your head to one side. Rest. Being in child's pose, resting, knees wide, belly supported by the bolster or the blanket, or just supported by the earth and the energy of the earth. As you're breathing here, I'll just give you another teaching about yoga that just came to mind, which is the kleshas. The kleshas are the obstacles that are on the yogic path. And I thought this would be interesting because as we're all doing yoga as a collective, yoga has become a very popular form of exercise and practice in the West. It's interesting that this is happening at this time because we've been really going through the 8 limbs of yoga, which I won't go into right now, but asana, the physical asana, is just one of the 8 limbs. And there's pranayama as another limb. There are moral codes and ethics, the niyamas, the yamas, and there's more to that. Eventually, you lead into places like meditation, contemplation, and eventually bliss. Now, the kleshas are obstacles on our path that we are to transcend as yogis. The first one, or one of, let's say, is avidya. Avidya means ignorance, and ignorance means illusion or separation. We are recognizing that separation is quite the illusion. As a community, as a collective, and as a consciousness, especially now. So that's one obstacle that we're very in touch with. Another one is our ego, Ashmita. We see our ego has created all that separation, and it has attachments and aversions, raga, devesha. But lastly is another obstacle called abhinavesha. And I'll have you turn your neck to the other side so you're even. Abhinavesha is fear of death. Fear of death, or the will to live. And this one in particular came up last week in my class last week. We are being faced with this one smack in our face right now. How do we grapple with our own fear of death as a yogi? And so these are very real obstacles. These are the major obstacles that we contend with. You chose a really important path, the path to enlightenment, of getting into terms with, I should say, our yogic path. Very interesting. Okay, so now you're going to come down back onto your bellies. Back onto your bellies, folks. Extending your arms out. From here, you'll take your right arm out to the right. And you will, let's see if I'm doing this right now. I'm sorry, let's do it this way. Left arm out to the left. Bending your right arm, so your elbows up towards the ceiling, you're on your fingertips. And now roll over onto your side. So you're stretching that left shoulder. So bend your top knee, place the foot on the floor. So if you can see me, if you need any support, I've got my left arm behind me now. And my foot is on the ground, either in front or in back of your leg. And I'm using my right arm, my right hand as leverage to stretch that left arm. This is called broken wing, but it's a shoulder stretch for the pecs. Since we are working with the heart meridian, we're back to the heart meridian again. Deeply breathing into our lungs. You can relax your head. I'm just lifting my head because I'm speaking. Allow your whole body to relax. Stay there for a few more breaths. Allowing your field of energy to radiate out. Just a few more breaths here. Okay, we're going to come back to our bellies. Extend your arms all the way forward once again. Just allowing yourself to have a transition and breathing. And then going to the other side. So now the right arm is going to come out to the right. Your left elbow will bend and the fingers will come to the floor. You will roll your whole body over onto that right side. And then bend the top knee and place the foot on the floor flat, either in front of you or behind you. Relax your head. And like in every single pose, giving yourself a few moments to settle. Settle into the pose. Noticing where you contract, where you congest your body, where your blood is not flowing. The heart is circulation. We're also working with the small intestine and digestion. So moving that energy through. Very good, everybody. Just a few more breaths here. Very good. And coming out of that pose, you'll be lying again straight on the ground with your body extended straight forward. And just wiggle your butt side to side, giving any tension out of the back as well. And now we'll come back up onto our knees, and then go ahead and sit for a moment on your heels. Sit for a moment on your heels. Okay. Now you're going to take your hands back behind you. Just kind of walking the hands back just a little bit. You can bend your elbows slightly, draw the shoulder blades together, open the chest. Yeah. And then curl the belly in and scoop the tailbone down. You're just going to start to lift up a little bit. Okay? And so lifting up using your hands. And you can wiggle your hands forward or back just to get this idea. It's like a little camel pose. We'll bring our chin towards our chest. Use your feet, use your hands, your fingers. This is allowing us to really open the heart. And some of you might practice a full camel pose, and I'm okay with that too if you decide that that's better for you. The full camel pose, the elbows will bend a little bit. I'm a hyperextender. And then we lift our chest up, press down to the shins. Your lower spine is protected by your belly. Try not to over squeeze your buttocks. So that's another version of camel pose. And I'm talking in it because I can bring my chin towards my chest and speak in camel pose. Lucky me. But either way, so this is the other version that I have too. So just be mindful of your body. Take a few breaths in this pose. Opening the heart, really feeling that heart expanding. Expanding the heart. Breathe there. And then when you come down, just sit back down on your heels. So it doesn't have to be a long hold because that's a big back bend for some. Hands can come on the lap. Close the eyes. Draw the belly in. And just take a few breaths in and out through the nose. Few breaths in and out through the nose. Let's take our hands to our hearts. We'll take an Om together. Inhale. And then you'll lie down on your back for a reclining twist. So coming down on your back, hug your knees into your chest, and just rock side to side a little bit. Releasing any tension in your back, your lower back, your spine. Okay, so let's extend the left leg all the way forward. Bring your left hand to your right knee. Take your right knee across your body. Right arm out alongside the collarbone. You can gaze towards your right fingertips. Stay here as you're twisting, relaxing the shoulders down. Breathing into the heart chakra. Now we've gotten to this place of true rest, parasympathetic nervous system, resting and digesting. You might imagine the top hip moving away from your shoulder, creating more length in your spine with every single breath. And if I were to give adjustments, oh, I wish I could, I would just be pressing your arm and that whole heart meridian from your heart all the way down your arm, all the way to your palm. You might just imagine that. Imagine being pressed all the way down the arm. So good. And then let's hug the knees back into the chest. Give yourself a gentle rocking side to side. And now extending the right leg forward and the left knee is going to come across the body. Left arm alongside the collarbone. Imagine releasing any tension in the intestines. All of that energy that is bound up when we're in sympathetic. And releasing and flushing the energy through the body. Shoulder blades down the back. Bringing in the quality of air, anahata, that green emerald again coming back in. Maybe it's more vibrant now as you've created more space in the lungs and the chest, in the upper thoracic, in the meridians. And truly feeling that communion with your spiritual nature. Drink in more breath, more vitality, creating immunity, boosting properties in your body. And when we feel that sense of compassion and love in our hearts, we actually flood our whole system with oxytocin, some of those hugging chemicals. Just let that flood your system instead. And then inhale, come back to the center. Feel free to hug your knees into your chest. And we'll move into a Shavasana practice. I am really a big fan of rolling up a blanket and placing it underneath my knees. Simple way. You'll scoop again the tailbone and the flesh of the bone away from your spine, your lower spine, so you relax there. Your head's relaxed, your arms are relaxed and open, the palms are open. Let your whole body be on the floor, completely relaxed. And let's do a body scan. So moving into the inner sanctum again of your body. Moving into the inner sanctum of the body. Deep breaths. Scanning from the top to the bottom, any tension in the head, in the eyes. Relax the ears, the throat. Relax the shoulders. Let there be a deep sense of relief and surrender in your heart. Relax the chest, the belly. Soften your hips. Let your legs get very heavy. Even the toes can soften. So in this Shavasana, feeling the depth of the obstacles or the kleshas. Releasing illusion and separation. Imagining what it would be like to release our attachments and our egos. And to imagine that beyond this life is a life even grander than we could have ever imagined. That this death is really life. Anahata. Namo Shivaya. Come back into our beloved bodies, wiggling our toes, wiggling our fingers. When we get this Zoom thing down, I will be able to give you the full sound bath that I planned one day. In lieu of time, maybe I'll do that separately. We will come back into our bodies and wiggle our fingers and wiggle our toes. And just roll over to your side. Make yourself comfortable. Put yourself into fetal position and really coming into that cocoon of the womb and the darkness and the silence. And feeling that sense of calm. That's the peace and calm and equanimity and balance that the heart can bring. And a sense of safety and grounding and love. That's what we want to walk around with in the coming days. So coming to sit up in your seat. And as you come up to sit in your seat, placing your hands in the Lotus Mudra. And so the pinkies and the thumbs will connect and all the other fingers extend out. It's like a lotus flower. You can soften your fingers just a little bit and place that right at your heart center. Close your eyes. Really smelling the fragrance of the flower, seeing the colors, the fragrance, enlisting all of your senses. And deeply breathing into the heart, imagining that we are all the lotus flower, right? Birthing from that deep, dark, muddy, maybe even chaotic soil, and making our way up the ladder and ascending into a higher level of consciousness, this blooming and awakening that is happening, and it is spring, so it's kind of a nice image to remember. That we all have these deaths and rebirths continuum, continues. Let's place all the fingers together and take a deep breath in for an exhale, and then the next one will be for take a full inhale, exhale, inhale together. The light in me recognizes and honors the light in all of you. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you, beloveds. Thank you for coming to this class. I did it on time. Last time I was like 10 minutes over with Zoom. So I did it on time. And I promise to keep bringing you classes online. And I will add music as I get the rhythm of this down, adding some sound and some songs as well. But thank you for joining. And what I'll do is, let's see if I can bring you guys on to at least say thank you, but it looks like I may or may not be able to do that. I'm still learning this too. Manage all of the participants, unmute all. See if I can do it so I can say goodbye.
Thank you, Nicole. You're amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's strange to not hear you or feel you or touch you, but I can feel you energetically. So love you all. Thank you for coming.
You're the best.
Have a
Mwah.
good day.
Thank
Talk
you.
to you
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Max. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Charity. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Natalie. Yay. Bye.